Hello everyone, welcome back to another art time lapse. Today I am using acrylic wash and doing an original piece, and this piece is called Untangled. So lately I feel like there's just a lot going on in life, and I am just trying to untangle all the thoughts and ideas that I have in my head. Feel like everything is just tangled up into a big ball of mess. So I decided to use this inspiration to do a piece out of it, so hopefully you'll like it. So here I'm using traditional acrylic wash from Holbein that I picked up at my local art store. If you're interested, I did do a walkthrough of my favorite art store that's in my YouTube channel. It's from a couple years ago, but I'm debating about whether I should do another shopping haul over at my local art store. Please comment below if that is something you'll be interested in. With that said, going back to the piece, you can see I'm just using a round brush. I believe this is number 8 that I picked up, and then I diluted a lot of water with my acrylic wash, so it has this transparent watercolor appeal. And then now I'm just adding on the next layer, definitely a little bit more opaque, less water dilution. I'm just being really careful, because some of these really darker colors is hard to wash off if I make a mistake. Here is when it kind of goes wild, because I wanted to emulate the idea that there are lots of ideas wrapping around my head that I'm trying to untangle. I decided to use a set of primary colors, not usually what I kind of go towards, not like a color scheme I usually use. So it's yellow, greens, reds, and blues. I just saw it in a poster one day. I thought it would look really nice, so I thought I'll try it out. And then I imagined this girl kind of trying to knit together all of these ideas into a cohesive, maybe art piece, weaving something together, whether it's knitting or crocheting. I think she's probably knitting. I'm not very good at this, but I hope you understand the concept behind it. So here, all of the ideas are tangled in these string of threads around her head, and now it's wrapping around her finger, and she's gonna weave it into a piece. So as I'm working on this piece, and actually in some of my other YouTube videos as well, you'll notice that I have other pieces on the go on the left and right, so you get to see a sneak peek of some of the pieces I've been working on, and other YouTube videos of other art time lapse, so feel free to check that out. So I know that this piece is gonna look really messy at some point, just because the intention is the tangled thoughts, and I'm just really torn between how to make this clean in terms of having the message come out very clearly. I don't want the piece to look too messy, because sometimes when it's messy, I get a headache even looking at the piece. So I wonder how the audience will feel if the piece is just too much going on at the same time. It's a little bit too stimulating, especially when I'm using all these contrasting primary colors of yellow, greens, reds, and blue. So I'm trying to find a happy medium and a happy balance between all of these different colors and the concept of the piece. Hopefully it will come out a little bit more softer. That's my ultimate plan. So in order to make a piece a little bit softer, a lot of times you would use oil pencils, as you can see here, to add details, or I use watercolors and water down my gouache to create a more translucent effect. After all, I think that's part of the style that I really prefer, something a little bit dreamy, but still thinking outside the box. So here you can see I'm using my oil pencils to add in a little bit more detail, and here is my finished piece, Untangled. Trying to weave my thoughts into something cohesive and trying to put myself back together. I hope you enjoy this art time lapse, because it certainly was very interesting for me to kind of dig deep and do this kind of idea for the piece. I certainly thought that the concept of the piece was more interesting than the execution, because when I started painting the piece itself, I don't think it looked as nice as I thought in my head. I don't know. I'll love to hear what you think. So with that said, thank you for joining me on this art time lapse, and I hope you stay safe and stay creative, everyone. Bye for now.